All right, guys, welcome back to another interview on mmaunhinged. Today, I am joined once again by Shanelle Dyer. An absolute pleasure. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show. It's a pleasure always.
I mean, how can I not get you on the show, Shanelle Dyer? You're an absolute studded prospect inside MMA. It was a must.
Yeah, 100%. I've been in MMA only for about 4.5 years, but I've been in martial arts for about 10 years now. So it's literally been a long time coming. So everything I've been working for the past 10 years is really paying off now. So I'm enjoying the fruits of my labor, and it's only going to get better from now.
Yeah, you talked about there how you've been in martial arts for a very long time, and we can just see that in the background right there. Look at all them medals, all them belts. We quickly talked about that before we went on air. That is phenomenal. And we talked about your most prestigious one. That was obviously the Cage Warriors Academy belt.
Yeah, 100%. Like I'm literally in my room now. I have it hung around my room, so it's like the first thing I see in the morning and the last thing I see at night. So it's really like it's symbolize what I do every day and what I strive to achieve, and I want more of that. So first thing I see in the morning, last thing I see at night is really motivational.
Absolutely, but you obviously you're gonna go on to do some fantastic things, and I love to talk about where we left off. Last time we spoke was about 5 months ago, just before the debut. Since then, 2-0, two emphatic finishes. I mean, highlight reel finishes as well, must I say? How are them two fights gone thus far?
It's been amazing because literally, even you just said that I've only been pro for 5 months. It seems that so much longer. Like the stuff I've been doing in the past 5 months has been like literally that. If you asked me this like 6 months ago, I would never say that I would be in this position I am now. Looking back throughout the last 5 months, I made my professional debut obviously on Hexagon. The one that with spinning back elbow kind of went viral off of that. I got so much hype off of my name. Then I went to FCC.
But yeah, I kind of get the gist of what you were saying. Absolutely, a fantastic first two fights. Highlight reel knockout, absolutely insane. Boosted everything about you. Obviously your fame and everything like that went through the roof. Everyone knew who Shanelle Dyer was after that pro fight.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. And then obviously you had that second fight, FCC, put on a fantastic performance. And now here we are. I want to talk about the hot news. That's all on everyone's lips, on the PFL Europe's lips. That was when Shanelle Dyer inked her signature on the PFL Europe contract. Talk to me about that, because it's amazing because you're still so early on in your career, yet you've just signed for a major PFL, like a major MMA promotion. How does that feel?
It literally feels amazing. Like I feel ecstatic. I'm signed with one of the biggest promotions in the world, and I've only had 2 fights, so I'm literally over the moon. And as you just said, I'm still a young fighter, and that's one of the reasons why I signed with PFL initially. Because starting this year, I just wanted to float around, get my experience up, and we didn't want to rush things. So I had my 2 fights, one-off fights, in Hexagon and FCC, and we didn't want to sign any long-term deals. We just wanted to float around. But the offer PFL laid on the table, we really couldn't say no to that offer. I mean, it's PFL, one thing. And what I really like about PFL, I can grow as a fighter within the organization. It's not like I'm going to be trapped into the deep end and fight like world-class fighters. They know I'm 2-0. They're going to give me the right matchups and try to grow me as a fighter within the years in my contract. So I'm on the undercard in Paris. I'll be on the Dublin card, undercard. The next year I'll be in the European tournament. Hopefully, if I win that, I'll be going over to America, and then I can be on the pay-per-views. There's so much growth in the organization, and that's one of the main reasons why I signed with PFL. And because it's on DAZN, it's on TV, their social media presence is like it's out of this world. So they treat me as a celebrity already. So literally, I couldn't say no to PFL.
You just explained it beautifully there, Shanelle. That was perfect. That's all. Everyone needs to know. You're on a fantastic platform, as you talked about there. DAZN, massive. It's massive.
Yeah, exactly.
PFL Europe, they're growing. They're going to be, obviously they've got PFL behind them as well. So this is a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
A lot of people might say, obviously, you're still early on, but I feel like that also shows the belief that PFL have in yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Because they signed big name fighters obviously to PFL Europe, but they kind of want to grow people from the bottom up. Like I'm only 2-0 pro, and they will sign people that haven't even had the pro fights and try to build their career up, coming from the European side, so the European side can grow and do their pro career right. so we can take over.
Absolutely. Obviously, you made some fantastic noise in the first two fights. As I talked about it, it's so early on in your career, and you get such a good call up. Just on that, did it catch you off a little bit surprised that when the PFL came calling? Was that a bit of like, oh my god, this is so early?
Yes and no, kind of. As I said before, I've been in this game for about 10 years now, so I put the work in. So I knew the second I'll make my pro debut, then big things will start happening. And my pro debut literally went like one of the best you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
So I knew. So a lot of people calling me up like after that fight, they were hitting me up for fights. I got a lot of offers on different promotions, but nothing really. We didn't really want to sign with anything until we had the PFL offer. Even still, like when I got the offer, I was excited because I get to showcase my abilities on the biggest stage in the world.
Absolutely, and we'll move over and talk about that debut, which will be on the biggest test of your career, biggest stage of your career, the biggest lights. Everything about that is going to be, obviously the stakes are growing. How do you think you're going to deal with that as you gradually improve? More stakes, more pressure, more eyes. The lights theoretically get brighter.
Yeah, so I don't really put a lot of pressure on myself. A lot of people, they can try to put pressure on me, but the only person for me that can put pressure on me is myself. And I'm not even thinking about that my fight on the 30th of September. I'm literally thinking about today, and I'm thinking about tomorrow, and I'm thinking about the next day. So I'm literally just focusing on being the best version of myself every single day. So when the 30th of September comes, then I'll be the best person, best version of myself, and I can shine because I know that I will.
Absolutely. I do the exact same thing. It's 6 p.m. and I don't even know what I'm having for dinner yet. So I don't
Yeah,
think too
literally,
much of the future.
I literally take it as it comes. I have the belief in myself that I'll make it big, and that's what's gonna happen.
Absolutely. And you'll be facing Lizzy Gerver on September 30th in Paris, France.
Yeah,
Firstly,
back to
talk to me
Paris,
about that.
back to Paris.
Over in Paris. That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So like my pro debut was in the Hexagon, was in Paris, was in France, and we're back to
Yeah,
France.
right,
Like the
yeah.
French crowd's amazing. Like the supporters. Like I thought I wasn't the home fighter, and they supported me like I was the home fighter back when I fought in them in March, and now I'm back in Paris. So I really feel like home in the show. So that's one great thing. Fighting on that show. So yeah.
Absolutely. And it's, when we're talking about, going over and traveling to, these different countries, ticking off these different locations, fighting in different arenas, it's very hard for a fighter to get distracted, to travel to these, different countries and kind of not really take in the moment and realize, I'm here to fight. Is that for you?
Yeah.
Is that the feeling that it's all business here in France? I'm looking to put someone's lights out.
Yeah, 100%. Like I can enjoy France. Like I'm staying the extra night, and I can enjoy it off France after. But literally, I'm there to fight, and that's my job. I'm literally only going there for one reason, and it's to win my fight. That's my sole focus. But as I said before, like I always bring it back to my experience. I've been fighting abroad since I was 11 years old, so I'm used to I'm used to fighting in different countries. I'm never really like the home fighter. I'm used to fighting fan favorites. So I'm usually always the underdog as well, and I always rise to the occasion. And that's what I'm going to do when I fight in Paris. It's the same thing. I'm going there to fight. The one thing I'm best at in life is fighting, and that's what I'm going to do in September. So there's literally no pressure. It's natural to me.
Absolutely. And one day I would love if the PFL Europe do return back to London. It
Yes.
makes a hell of a lot of sense to get Shanelle Dyer on that list.
Yeah, yes, we have to come back to London. Everyone's been asking. Like, I haven't fought in London in ages, and everyone's always on my case. They're like, when's your next fight? I said, in Paris. They're like, where's the one after? They're like, in Dublin. My last one was in Liverpool and in Paris. It was like, yeah, so we need a local fight, 100%. Like, I'll raise the roof of that place.
Absolutely. It'd be fantastic. I know GBTT has a fantastic sport, so I can't even imagine how many people would be down there to support you.
Yeah, 100%. Like, literally, the whole place will go mental. Like, we need to go back to London, 100%.
Absolutely agree. We'll go back to Lizzy. A task on hand.
Yeah.
She's a black belt in judo. What I've seen, but what I've researched, she's a black belt in judo. She's like experienced with BJJ. So I've looked at her, I've watched her. She's looking to get the fight up close, working the clinch,
Yeah.
obviously because she has that judo
Yeah.
game. What
Yeah.
type of fight are you expecting from Lizzy on fight day?
Well, everyone's a black belt in judo. One thing. I fought a lot of judokas in my career. I've had
Yeah.
11 amateur MMA fights. I fought a couple judokas. I just fought on Polaris, and I fought one of the best female judokas in the UK, and I just double legged her. So like wrestling beats judo. I'm not really fussed in that sense. I'm a long distance fighter. A lot of people know that already. So if I work my game plan and I'll end up controlling the fight anyway, she won't get close to me, so she won't be able to take me down. And I'm really good at anti-judo anyway, so none of her game really threatens me. I'm I'm confident on the ground. I'm a purple belt in jiu-jitsu as well. Even though I have an amazing striking, I actually have legit jiu-jitsu. As you can see, my jiu-jitsu medals in the bag. I can actually sub people out, but I just choose to punch people in the face. So literally our whole game. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about myself in the fight. I know I'm gonna win the fight on my best day or my worst day. I just want to put out a great performance for the crowd and put out a statement.
I was going to ask, where do you see yourself having the advantages in this fight, but you just ticked off there, Shanelle. You're too good of a talker.
Sorry, I like bigging up myself.
I would too if I was Shanelle Dyer, so don't worry about that. But yeah, I mean, you've had a fantastic start to your career. I'm looking forward to this one. I was going to obviously talk about the advantages, but you tick that off, and we'll move it on. Obviously, this is the most important fight to date. What does it mean for you to be fighting on the PFL Europe in Paris? How does that feel? Ticking it off another location. I know you fought in France before. Ticking off another country. How does that feel?
It feels amazing. Like I literally get to show the world what I can actually do. Like I've been grinding for years for basically this moment to show the whole world what I can actually do, and hopefully I get to show that and make a statement and really like blow up from there, because I know I have the capabilities to make it to the top. And I know already that I have the capabilities, that I am one of the best fighters in the world. So hopefully I get to show that off in 1st of September.
Completely agree. And a win would be huge, monumental for your career. How would that feel?
100%.
How do you expect that to feel?
I will literally be like over the moon. I'll try to play it cool, but I probably won't. But 100% be the biggest win of my career in Paris. And then I know every fight after that is just going to be even bigger wins and bigger wins and bigger wins. From that, I'm only going to keep rising.
Absolutely. My last question, bit of a a different one. Hypothetically, if you was the PFL matchmaker, you kind of talked about earlier, where you want yourself going in a few years. But hypothetically, if you was the PFL matchmaker, how would you roadmap Shanelle Dyer's career?
Literally, I kind of have it like planned already. So like, I'm fighting in Paris, then I'm gonna fight in Dublin. Probably more up in the card. Then next year I'm in the European tournament. I'm gonna win the European tournament, obviously. So I'm gonna win my 3 fights next year. I'm gonna go over to America and do the million tournament and win those 3 fights. And then I see where it goes from there. I might redo the million tournament, or I might start doing pay-per-view fights. I know PFL, they're really advocating for PFL Africa, and obviously I'm African as well. So like one of my main goals in life is to fight in Africa. So if PFL, if that really comes into fruition, that's one of my dreams, to fight on PFL Africa. So hopefully down the line I get to do that and work with Francis Ngannou as well, because obviously Francis Ngannou fan of PFL, and he's one of the biggest stars in the world. So doing that work with him for PFL Africa is going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously PFL recently just launched the PFLW series, the women's series. I don't know all too much about it. It's still very new, so I'd love to, learn more about it. And obviously I'd love to talk more about it. But who they've signed to that is impeccable. All the boxers. We're talking about, my mind's gone blank here. Amanda Serrano, Savannah Marshall, obviously English women, and obviously the Guo, I forgot her name off the top of my head, Clarissa Shields. There you go. So I know you look at that and you probably think, obviously they're a little bit too big for you, but does that feel good to have that backing of PFL?
Yeah, 100%. Like PFL is is literally growing. Like the past few years, it's growing like massively, or like at a massive fast rate. So in a couple of years, like the stuff that PFL is doing right now and what they're gonna do in a couple of years, it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's gonna become even more commercialized. So like we get more stuff to do with outside things as well with PFL. So even just like you saying those top names and like saying my name in the same sentence, it's literally unbelievable. And hopefully in a few years that I get to be sharing cards with them and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think one day I'd love to, down the line, I'd love to see Savannah Marshall, Clarissa Shields in the MMA ring. I think they've set it up perfectly. I don't know.
Yeah. I think they're due to fight, and that will be like one of the biggest women fights in like the whole world. So
obviously
PFL,
Clarissa Shields got the better of Savannah, didn't she? So it'll be interesting.
PFL's doing the right things. Like they're moving at a fast rate, so it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger.
Absolutely agree. They're ticking off the right boxes. They're doing everything right, should we say. I appreciate your time, Shanelle. Obviously Shanelle Dyer fighting on September 30th, PFL Europe, Paris, over there, in France. Fantastic. Shanelle, an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. Enjoy the fight week, enjoy everything about it, and obviously have best of luck on the fight. Bring it back. Best of luck.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Tune in DAZN on 30th of September. I'm gonna put on the show.